Hi everyone, I'm FMGreeno and welcome back to the Greeno tour. So we have now given up club football. I've resigned from Chelsea and I'm focusing solely on the England job. We're at the Euros, just about to enter the group stage. As you'll remember, really tough group. We're playing France first up, followed by Ireland, then Italy. It doesn't get much tougher than that. What I'm going to do in this episode, I'm going to bring you that Italy game. We'll take a look at the goals from France and Ireland first. But before we get into that, we'd better take a look at the squad I'm taking to the tournament. Let's go. So, I've removed my mug from the screen so you can actually see the full list of players here. A lot of familiar names, of course. One or two not so familiar. Bearing in mind we're in 2032 here, it's amazing how many players from the current England squad are actually still kicking around more than 10 years later. We've got the likes of, Greenwood here, Foden, Curtis Jones isn't in the England squad yet, but I'm sure he will be. Reece James, Trent, we've got Bellingham here, Declan Rice, Rashford, Ramsdale, Saka, Livramento, you'll remember from our time at Köln. He has made it into the squad. One or two other names that we've picked up along the way. Grice from Roma. He's in the squad for us. First choice centre-half. Yeah, a couple of Chelsea players around. Constantinu, for example. And Jamie Bino-Gittins has made the cut. So, yeah, big tournament for him ahead, hopefully. Anyway, what we're going to do now is take a quick look at how we got on in our first two group games. What a great performance we had in our first game. So just after half an hour, Foden pulls the ball back to Trent, who larrups it from just over 20 yards. That gave us a 1-0 lead. Just before the hour mark, Saka plays a fairly hopeful-looking long ball into the box when Greenwood, what a finish that is on the half volley. At the back post, 2-0. And the highlights keep coming. Here's Rice on the ball. Into Curtis Jones. Plays a little 1-2 with Greenwood and smashes it home. 3-0 with about 25 minutes to go. And we weren't done there. Foden takes a corner, finds it all the way to the back post to the substitute who's just come on, Sayers. And it's a 4-0 win. Next up was Ireland. And we scored through Constantinu after 25 minutes. This was a game we absolutely dominated, and we could and should have won by more than we did. Second goal came from Foden, in off the post, and that was a 2-0 win. The way other results had gone in the group meant that after those first two games, we had actually qualified for the next round. So instead of bringing you the Italy game as the live com, I'm going to show you just the highlights of that one once again, and we'll see who we get in the next round, and that will be the live com. Italy gave us the toughest test so far. Saka with a great run down here, down the left-hand side, pulls it back. Petropolis on the penalty spot, slams it home. The game finished 1-0. We're topping the group. So as you can see, we have qualified top of the group. 3 games, 3 wins, 7 goals and none conceded. Can't ask for much better than that. Italy make it through with us on goal difference ahead of France. So if we take a look at the second round, we've been handed a stinker. We have got Spain, who are 7th ranked in the world and one of the best clubs left in the competition. Yeah, not happy with that, but there we go. Let's go and see how we're going to set up for that game. So we're going to stick with our familiar shape for this Spain game. You can see it's a pretty strong side, I think. Hamilton in goal, Saka, Constantinu, James and Alexander-Arnold. Unfortunately, Max Grice is banned for today's game. He's picked up 2 yellow cards, so that's why James is playing. Then we got in midfield Rice, Foden and Petropolis, the lad from Liverpool. Curtis Jones, who has been playing in that kind of mid-side role a bit, is actually going to start as an inside forward on the left today. Mason Greenwood and then Grogan up top. Good options on the bench. We've got a lot of yellow cards here in the team though, particularly at the back. So, yeah, got to be a little bit careful with that, I think. Anyway, Let's head over to the stadium and see how we get on. So it's a packed stadium here. We are playing at Murrayfield today. Euro 2032 in the game is being played in Scotland and Wales. So yeah, Murrayfield it is today. No rugby markings on the pitch, which is good. Looking in pretty decent condition too. Here's a highlight. Spain with the first one. Oh, and they've scored early. Gonzalo Herranz. That's not great. It's the first goal we've conceded in the tournament so far. Won't be happy at conceding from a set play like that. Yeah, Rice could have done a bit better with a challenge there, I think. We're up against it. Here's a corner for us, though. Headed clear. Saka on the ball. Here's Curtis Jones in that inside forward role. Rice finds Trent overlapping on the right-hand side. Can he get a decent ball over? He can. It's headed clear, though. Fatty clears it. We win the ball back once again. Here's Trent on the ball again. Declan Rice into Foden. Greenwood, and he has scored. We have equalised in the 16th minute. Some pretty good build-up play involved there. Petropolis to Trent. Pulls it back to Declan Rice. Into Foden. Picks out a nice ball to Greenwood, who's found a little pocket of space. And he finishes with aplomb. Back to one apiece. Another highlight here, 21st minute. Petropolis on the ball. Driving run. Oh, what a hit. 30th minute. Here's Reece James on the ball to Trent. He's involved in everything going forward at the moment, isn't he? Curtis Jones hits the bar with a header. Goodness me. Perhaps this is the last chance of the first half. We've scored! Constantino! The ball was whipped in from the free kick. He rose highest for the header, headed it against the bar, but it dropped back at his feet and he managed to stab it home. James with a good ball in. Constantino there. Towering header. And fairly fortunately, the ball falls back to him. Anyway, so that looks like we're going to have a 2-1 lead going into half-time. You'll see a couple of familiar faces there in the Spanish team. Mariba, obviously we've had him in a couple of places. And Azier, who we bought for Chelsea. That's the midfield 2 for them. Right. Petropolis, absolutely wrecked. He's played in every game so far, so it's not really a surprise. I think we're going to tell them not to get complacent out there. Let's see if everyone reacts well to that. They do. We'll give Petropolis another few minutes. It will only be a few, though, I think. Spain here on the ball. About 30 yards out. Let's see if we can win this back off them. There's Azier. Good ball in. Cleared, but only to a Spanish player. Here's Mariba. Gives it away to Saka. He just lumps it long, though, and Spain recycle the ball once again. Mariba on the ball. Great challenge there by Greenwood, though. And here we go. Is this going to be our opportunity to get forward now? Saka to Curtis Jones. It's a good run. And not such a good finish. Another Spanish highlight here. Bellingham clears it. He's come on for Petropolis. Not a bad substitution to have up your sleeve, is it? Here comes Spain, though. Oh, good save by Hamilton in goal. Justifying his selection ahead of Ramsdale there. Goal kick here for Spain. I've made a couple of changes in the last few minutes. Musa has come on for Rice in midfield in the defensive role. Oh, here's Rabasso. Good effort there. And I brought Rashford on for Foden. So 83 minutes on the clock. There is Rashford getting involved. What is Trent doing over there taking throw-ins? That's not such a good plan. Luckily, Reece James mops up in that right-back position. Here's Bellingham. Jones, Rashford. Is he onside? I think he is. And that makes it 3-1 in the 84th minute. That's got to be an unassailable lead, surely. Greenwood here. Pulls it back to Bellingham. Gets it back to Jones. It ricochets fairly fortunately to Rashford at the back post. But he tucks it away. very confidently. Here comes Greenwood down the right-hand side. Gives it to Trent. Bellingham. Back out to Trent. Greenwood, Jones. It's ricocheting around. Booted out. Okay, just a minute of additional time here left to play. It's done. It's all over. England triumph. 3-1. We're into the next round. So, our reward for putting Spain out is a draw against Turkey in the quarterfinals. Now, Turkey are ranked 25th in the world. So on paper, that should be a little bit easier. But as we've seen many times in this series, it doesn't always work out like that. If we manage to get past Turkey, apparently we will play either Austria or Croatia in the semi-final. So that should be an interesting matchup. But let's get past Turkey first. But that's going to come in the next episode. If you've enjoyed today's episode, I think it's been a pretty good one. I think we've done pretty well. We've got past France, we've got past Italy, we've got past Spain. Some of the big boys. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like on there for me. And of course, if you've got any comments about today's episode, the series as a whole, as it starts to draw to a close, I would love to see them in the comments section below. Don't forget, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, there's a lot of stuff coming up for FM22. So click on that subscribe button, ding the little bell for notifications, and come and hop on the Greenobus. There's plenty of room for you all. It just remains for me to thank you for watching, and I will see you soon for that quarter-final game against Turkey. Bye for now.